Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ask ServiceMonster show, where you've got questions for your service business and we've got your answers. Today's question comes from Jacob. He says, "Hey Joe, I've got a good business, 3 trucks, looks like he's doing decent margins. He's got all the personal comfort and the toys and the boats and the bells and whistles. But he's bored, wants to know what he needs to do to kind of get things moving in the right direction." Now, he didn't ask me specifically how to grow his business or how to solve a specific problem within his company. What I'm hearing, though, is complacency. And this is seriously insidious for any business. The moment that the leadership starts to become too comfortable or complacent or resting on their laurels is an early sign that the business will be in decline. So how do you deal with this? What are the warning signs? And what are the stats even on complacency and what it does to growth either at a personal level or in your business? So I saw a video a while ago talking about a lobster, and I thought that this was a really good analogy. The lobster is a kind of squishy organism, right? It's got a crustacean. It's got a shell on the outside. Now, as the lobster grows, the shell, it doesn't. And it continues to make the lobster feel ever more uncomfortable until at one point it crawls under a rock to shed its skin, its shell, and grow a new one. Now, I imagine that if the lobster went to its doctor and got some Percocet or Xanax, that we'd call it a shrimp. It'd never grow. It'd never achieve its personal best. And so, yeah, I thought that was a pretty good analogy because humans are the same way. Our levers of dealing with stress, good amounts of stress, not like completely off the wall, but stress is a vehicle to become the strongest version of ourselves. And that struggle, it's not about a destination. The strongest version of yourself isn't a finite point in time, a specific amount you can lift, a certain amount that you can think, or a specific size in your business. It's a metric that you'll move as soon as you reach the yardstick anyways. It's that journey that's important. Getting chased by the lion, encountering seemingly impossible odds, struggling through that, getting knocked on your ass for a minute, getting back up, and then winning. That victory, that's that sweet taste, but it's temporary. Complacency is the mind killer. Throughout history, complacency has been one of the biggest things that's killed large businesses. Warren Buffett talks about this on a regular basis. You need to be restless. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to be challenging yourselves on a regular basis. These stress and struggle, it's a great motivator. Being comfortable, feeling entitled, that's an excellence killer. Here's an interesting metric. Did you know that 93% of all millionaires in the United States are first generation? This isn't an anomaly. There are plenty of kids who grow up in the lap of luxury who just don't have the bite required to make a go of it. Immigrants also make up a big portion of that metric. Why? Because they know what it's like to be hungry. They know what it's like to be in a single room apartment with 6 or 7, 8 other relatives. It's that uncomfortableness that allows them to propel themselves forward and achieve success. Success, though, leads to complacency. Complacency leads to laziness, and laziness leads to failure. Look, your competitors, they're not resting. This is like reminded myself of high school a little bit, or even college when you're in athletics and you're working hard or you're not really working. If you want to win, you know that your competition is in their gyms, in their colleges, lifting their weights in off hours, trying to get that little bit of advantage over you. And if you're not willing to put in the time and effort and energy to really push yourself forward, you're going to get your ass handed to you. So fine, complacent, comfortable. How do you shake things up? How do you avoid complacency or fix it once it's set in? My favorite strategy I call the weakest link. Nothing is ever perfect. You hear me talking about iterative cycles all the time. And if I'm looking at a project or myself, a company, a task, an aspect of my life that I want to improve upon, I will often look for the weakest link. Now, let's say all the links are strong. That's fine. There's still a weakest one. And then you start to get to work on it. Maybe in your organization, it's sales. Maybe in your personal life, it's health or your relationship with your husband or wife. Whatever it is, find that link and just start working on it. Look at those things that are making you uncomfortable, that are causing you stress, and improve upon them. Eventually, that link will end up somewhere in the middle or top 25%, and you can go after the next link in the chain. This is a highly effective strategy in personal growth and business strategy, but you have to be mindful of it, and you have to intentionally look at your business through a critical eye. How about this one? Planned obsolescence. You put an SOP in place, a standard operating procedure, have it expire in a year. Force yourself to look at the process and rewrite it, or force your people to address it or do something in a different way. Really looking at planned obsolescence with your projects or your equipment, your company's departments or standard operating procedures, like whatever it is, plan on revisiting things on a regular basis. This folds right into my strategy with iterative cycles, but I see a lot of service providers just sitting with good enough on a lot of things because it works. Dream big. I mean like big. Like, no, bigger. You guys know I have a fairly big plan for ServiceMonster. I'd love to take this company to 30 million over the next 5 years. Have a plan to do that, bringing in amazing people, right? Doing things necessary to shake things up in order to create and cultivate an environment where that's even possible. But what you might not know is my plans after ServiceMonster. I really want to take a little bit of cash from the company and start investing into other startups in the tech field where I can make a huge impact. I want to use those funds to build a lab, solve the energy problem, and retire into professorship. That's pretty big. Will I make it? I don't know, but I'm sure Elon never worried about it. That dude is always on the brink of destruction because he dreams so big, trying to make the human race a multi-planet species. Yeah, that's a pretty ambitious goal. And while he's doing it, he's gonna whip up some boring company and he's gonna, create Tesla and, PayPal, like all the stuff that he did. Elon's a pretty big dreamer. Like, do you have to go that big? Obviously not. The funds that he has available to him and what he's been able to do with his life is amazing, pretty incredible. But he's a good inspiration for dream big. Like, are you just satisfied with your life? Never be satisfied. We're entrepreneurs. Hit it hard. Complacency is the antithesis of success. So continue to look for those boundaries and push them further. Get into uncomfortable zones. And in order to do that, sometimes you really got to expand where you want to go. In your organization, you want to try your best to keep your employees engaged and excited. Now, this is a tough one, and excited can mean a whole bunch of different things. First of all, you as the figurehead of the organization, no one's going to care about your business as much as you do. So if you're starting to get complacent, it's just a matter of time before good people bail or the rest of them just chill. In times of struggle, be supportive to everyone, right? They're doing the hard work. They're putting in the extra time or the extra energy. They're dealing with that extra stress already, naturally. And that is causing things to occur, which you can leverage and use to apply pressure to get that headed in the direction that you want. But when things are going well, sometimes it's your job to shake things up. Many business owners at the highest levels will tell you, you need to inject some tension. Now, they're not saying be an asshat, start walking around and screaming at people because everything's going well. But you can get a kind of a taste for this. If you have a sales department and they're adequate, but you know you need to get so much more, that you can get so much more, maybe you make a couple minor changes and see who has the guts to stick it out, who's going to push forward and move the company in the right direction, and who's just going to bail. Okay, guys, 3 points wrapping up. Number 1, don't get comfortable. Be happy. Have a great life. Push yourself forward. Strive to be a better version of yourself, but don't get comfortable. Don't just chill and put your feet up for any extended period of time. That's the mind killer. Number 2, attack the weakest link. Never settle for good enough, either in your business or in your personal life. And number 3, find someone to compete with that will inspire you, that will challenge you. You will never run as fast as you will when you're running next to a worthy competitor. Until next time, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel, go check out the demo, and give us a call.